Hi. So she came. Okay. In the giant dust bag. I'm actually shaking. I'm gonna sit with this for a little bit and I'll catch up with you later, which in your timeline will be probably 1 second. Hello, welcome back. So today's video is going to be all about my latest acquisition, the Margaux 17. I'm so excited about this, and yeah, I just want to get straight into the video. If you like this kind of stuff, please do subscribe. The structure of the video, I'm just going to be talking about the features of the bag, what made me buy it, my first impressions, and also what made me choose it over the other Row bags that I was also thinking about, so the Margaux 14 and the Margaux 15/17. So yeah, without further ado, I'm just gonna go straight into it. This is the bag right here next to me, as you can see already. It comes in a massive dust bag that is pretty much the entire length of my torso. The dust bag itself actually doesn't have any of the branding anymore. I know that the fisherman sandals that I got a couple of years ago did, so that had a little kind of ribbon tag that said the Row on the side, but I think they have since gotten rid of that. I ordered this off of Farfetch because they had a 15% off deal. It was on a list of designers, but the Row was surprisingly actually included in the promotion as well. I actually only did end up getting about 5% off for it because it had a maximum sort of threshold of $300 that you could get off of it, so £230, but £230 is £230 saved for me, so I took the plunge and went for it. And here she is. This is the Row Marlo in the 17 size, so you can see she is quite large. And I got this in the black pebbled leather, as you can probably see over here. I do have a light on at the moment. Again, it's very dark in the UK right now because it's been raining every single day in 2026. So I have to use artificial light and I only have warm toned light, so apologies for that. I will also include some clips of when I unboxed it when it was a little bit maybe lighter, so you can see the true color of it. But right off the bat, this is just insanely beautiful to me. I know that it is very, very understated. It doesn't really have any sort of branding or logos or unnecessary hardware on it. Not saying that hardware is unnecessary, but on a tote bag like this, I was really looking for something really sleek. It does have branding over here, so it says the Row in a silver stamping, as you can see here, and you can see that the side profile is just really relaxed and beautiful. And you know, seeing photos of it on Pinterest, etc., once it starts to kind of get some wear into it, it will start to slouch, which I'm really looking forward to. But you know, I'm going to bide my time. I'm not going to force those creases or anything. I just love it. I love how the gussets on the side create a little bit of a dome shape, so you can see that it's not actually straight wings outside of the main panel of the bag over here where the rectangle ends. So you can see that the gussets actually bend down slightly on a bit of an angled curve, which I really, really love. And another detail that I love about this bag is that the straps where it's attached is actually a little bit of a crescent shape or a crest shape, and it also is actually reflected in the zipper pulls. Yeah, the zipper pull is also a bit of a crescent shape, which matches the handle drop straps over here. It is also the same on the inside zipper pull, you can see as well. So all of the shapes are very sort of coherent and consistent with each other, which I really love. The bag itself doesn't actually have any feet, so this is the main difference, I think, between other than the shape, between the Margaux and the Marlo. And the strap drop on the 17 is also, from my knowledge and my research, is longer than the Margaux 17. So all in all, it just lends itself to be a really easy shoulder bag that you can clamp your arms to, which is very important for me because I primarily want to use this as a work bag and also a sort of traipsing around town bag. The zipper is very satisfying as well, so you can see here, if I do this, very easy to open and close. I would say because it is a thinner zipper than, you know, the Loewe Puzzle and the Givenchy Pandora that I showed in my last video, there's not as much resistance to the zipper, so it doesn't feel as satisfying pulling it back and forth, but you can still tell that it's a very well made, very smooth zipper. On the inside, it is a cotton canvas lining. It actually does have also a herringbone pattern to it. So if I come closer enough, you can see it's a little bit herringbone. So there's beige and creams in kind of the lining of it. and it has a zippered pocket over here. This bag is quite large, so it's kind of difficult to show, sorry. So it has a zipper pocket over here. The zipper on this one is very, very, very tight and well constructed, I would say. And on the inside here, I don't know if you can ever see that, but yeah, you can see there's a little black tab over here that has your serial number in it. And then on the other inner pocket, there are two kind of flappier pockets. So this is made out of actually the same leather as the outer construction is. So this one I think fits perfectly, like maybe a hand cream or something. And then over here it's a larger pocket, which I actually put my wallet in. So I have a kind of a standard size mini wallet thing from Louis Vuitton that I've had for I think 10 years now. But that just fits perfectly in here as well. So this is a huge bag. But it's not unmanageable of a size as I personally think maybe the Neverfull GM is. So I brought this actually just so I can compare the two, because on the website it actually measures exactly the same, but I do think that the Neverfull GM for some reason just feels profile wise a little bit bigger than the Margaux 17 does. So if I just compare these two together, you can see if I put the Neverfull in front of it, it completely covers the Margaux. But if I flip it, you can still see the Neverfull kind of jutting out on the sides over here. The strap drop of the Neverfull is also slightly longer than the Margaux, and the length of it I think is also a little bit longer. So you can see that this actually drops a little higher. I don't know if it's because of the strap drop or what it is, but basically the Neverfull to me, even though it is technically the exact same size, just feels like it tracks a bit larger. So this is the Neverfull on my body frame, and then this is the Margaux on my body frame. So they are similar in size, but I just feel like maybe the light color of the Neverfull GM kind of lends itself to look a bit bigger maybe than the Margaux, but this is kind of what it looks like against my body. And I just love the side profile of this. I love how it kind of slouches down a little bit because the wing gusset is a little bit of a dome shape. I just think it's so effortless and really, really cool and very usable as well. That's pretty much it for the features of the bag. I don't really have much else to say about it because there's no different hardware or anything about it. I will say that the construction of the base, you can see that the base is actually a different strip of leather than it is. So it is on the top, so I think it actually is reinforced on the base, or the two leather pieces are joined at the bottom and then put with a base on top. You can also kind of see that reflected on the inside of the bag. I also really love the handles. I really love a rolled handle. And again, just to compare this with the Neverfull again, the Neverfull has flat straps and this one is a rolled leather handle, so it's rounder, as you can see here. All around, a really beautiful, timeless, very simple bag. There's not really much that you can scream about the Margaux, but I think construction wise everything has just been put together in such a way where it really, really flows. I think how they have been able to kind of construct this slouchy shape is that this is actually the same piece of leather, so it's not been stitched anywhere over here. This is actually the same exact piece of leather, so it's kind of been scrunched up in a way where then it kind of dips a bit forward, if that makes sense. So that's why you get this really nice seamless flow to the bag. Okay, if I look different, it's because I finished filming and then I think I figured out how the winged gussets have been constructed. So back to this, you know how it looks like it's the same piece of leather? I think the side profile, this piece of leather is the same. And then this front piece is actually different to this piece, but it's been stitched together somewhere in here because I can feel something a bit thicker over here, which I think you can also see a little bit after I've pressed on it. So I think that's how they've kind of achieved this one seamless leather look that looks like it's been folded in an origami shape. Yeah, that's all I really wanted to say, but I'm so happy about that and figuring it out. But yeah, I think that's how they've kind of mastered this one sleek, seamless look about the bag without it showing any stitches at all, because I think the stitches have actually been sewn into the inner lining, and then this outer piece covers how it's been stitched, if that makes sense. And you can also maybe kind of tell by here, there's actually some thread, and that's prevalent on all 4 of these. So it's my theory. I think I'm correct, but yeah, I just kind of wanted to debunk that because I thought it was one piece of leather, but I was thinking it doesn't really make sense if it is one piece of leather, because how would they have cut it? Anyway, yeah, everything about this bag I think has just been really perfect for me, and I have been really loving while using it the one time that I used it over the weekend. But I do think that this is going to be a perfect work and everyday, especially even if I have to go to the gym or something after work. Going into what fits in the bag, I mean, what wouldn't fit in this bag, right? So it's a massive hole, as you can see over here, and I feel like this will be kind of difficult to show, but I have my huge laptop here. This is a MacBook Air 16-inch or 15-inch. You can see that it fits perfectly actually down here. And then I've also brought goodies with me. So these are all the things that I actually brought out with me yesterday. I didn't bring my laptop or anything with me out, but again, I actually just added a scarf in there just to give it a little bit more of a shape. Otherwise all my things would be just jangling in there. That's straight into the bag, no problem. Umbrella here, sunglasses here, my makeup catch-all everything pouch here, and then my AirPods, which I put in the slip pocket over here. So all of that fits with quite a lot of room left over still. It's quite heavy now, of course, but again, you can just sling it over your shoulder and it eats everything up quite nicely, in a sense that it doesn't actually feel like you're lugging half of your life around with you, which I really, really love. It's everything that fits in the bag. Let me just remove everything before I talk about why I went for the Marlo 17 over the other bags that I wanted from the Row. So if you watched my luxury bag collection video, I also talked about the bags that I was considering for 2026, and of the bags that I was talking about, I really wanted the Marlo 14 or the Marlo 17 or the Margaux, and the Margaux was actually the first one that I wanted. That was the one that I saw a lot of social media posts about, that I got really interested in, and I was really researching the Margaux on the Row website instead of the Marlo. It wasn't actually even on my radar until I went into the store and saw it. The Margaux for me, again, I'll put some pictures over here, I just feel like is a little bit strange against my body proportion. And the fact that the strap drop is not long enough for it to actually be a shoulder bag on my shoulder, especially if I wanted to carry it to work, etc., it's going to be quite heavy, and I do prefer a shoulder bag when that's the case. I just felt like it would be a little bit too difficult for it to just be a top handle bag. I'm not writing the bag out completely yet. Although since the video launched last week, I was now also thinking about the Peggy clutch, which has a similar dome shape to the Margaux, which I really like, but it has one singular strap and it looks a little bit more 90s and nostalgic than the Margaux maybe does. So maybe the Margaux is actually out for me now. When it comes to comparing the sizes between the Marlo 14 and the Marlo 17, I think the Marlo 14 really fit my proportion correctly. It was a really beautiful bag, and honestly, I still do love it, and it's kind of still up there, but where the 17 won out for me is the slouch. So because it is bigger, there's a bit more leather, there's a bit more opportunity for it to start gaining that softening of all of the gussets, etc. So that's exactly kind of why I wanted the Marlo 17. And I was also afraid that, you know, if I got the Marlo 14, that I would kind of have an itch still to be able to put more in my bag, because the Marlo 14 isn't a small bag by any means at all. It is actually quite substantial. But I thought, you know, if I was already getting quite a large bag and I couldn't put absolutely everything in it and I wanted to, then I would want the Marlo 17 a bit more, if that makes sense. So I think it just kind of made sense for me personally to go big or go home, because then I can ensure that I'm not going to be thinking about whether or not I can fit something in. So yeah, that's kind of why I chose the Marlo 17 over the 14 and the Marlo style over the Margaux. I think the Margaux is still a beautiful, beautiful bag, but I think actually, personally, I think the Marlo, in terms of aesthetic, how casual it is, how effortless it is, it actually does win out over the Margaux for me personally. If I wanted a bit more of a proper bag, or like a bag that is suitable for more special occasions, I would probably say the Peggy clutch is more fit for that purpose specifically than if I was gonna go for the Margaux, which is a little bit in between a cool business bag and a cool evening bag, but it's kind of neither here nor there for my personal lifestyle. So I wanted to go full casual with this one, and then I have the Peggy clutch kind of on my wish list for next. But yeah, this is the first impressions, everything about the Marlo 17 at the moment. I mean, the leather still does smell amazing. The leather construction as well, I would say, is really, really nice. It does have a kind of a weird, not weird, but kind of a rubbery feel to it, where the leather maybe has been treated or reinforced so that it is extra durable. I actually do also prefer the Marlo, especially in the 14 and 17 sizes, in the pebbled leather, because I just do feel like it gives it a bit more of a casual, don't really care, sling it around everywhere kind of vibe. And yeah, I think it also kind of allows for creases and slouches like this to happen. And I just love how you can rest your hand on the bag as well, which I really love. So yeah, I think that is everything for this video, really. I might do a bit of a review after I've carried it for a couple of months to work and see how I fare with that. But for now, I feel very confident in my decision. I know that it is a massive bag, and I had my doubts because of the Neverfull GM. But I do think that this will be a great one for my everyday. Anyway, that is everything for this video. If you enjoyed it, please do consider subscribing and liking the video. And I have to say, after I got this bag, I know I only got it for about a week ago, but my husband Rory very kindly gifted me another bag and that is actually coming quite soon, so I will be doing a first impressions video on that one as well. It is actually one from my wish list from my luxury bag collections video from last week, so I'm so thankful and I'm so excited for that bag to arrive into the store so I can pick it up. But yeah, the next one is going to be all about that bag as well, so stay tuned and thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!